Welcome to Season 3, Episode 10 of the Hive stream. A student-run esports. We're with the student-run esports program with NJIT Esports. The Hive is brought to you by Esports College and Career Pathways, where our mission is to expand access to opportunities and provide a clear path forward for young adults to reach their potential goals. We focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion. Thank you to our sponsors, GameHers, ESTV, and NFL alumni. I'm your host, Sam Diamond. I'm stepping in for Alley Cat, who is unavailable tonight. I hope she's doing well. With that, tonight we're going to have a great program. Every week, we will either highlighting teams playing against each other, important topics, or just getting together players in the community to play fun, fun friendly games on stream. Tonight, we are joined by Club President of NJIT Esports, Bruno Brando. Our guest Bruno, he is the president and co-founder of NJIT Esports, a gaming powerhouse across the tri-state area. Born in Portugal and immigrated here at 11 years old, Bruno is now a junior studying mechanical engineering, hopes of finding a job as a design engineer. Main game is League of Legends, and he has played on his school's D1 team. Time he works as a bartender at a local sports bar in the Ironbound. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. So I'm glad to have you here, Bruno. It's
I'm
amazing. I
glad
got
to
to
be here.
Rims. I guess the first thing I think what we all kind of ask each other is how did you get interested in games? You have a game that really got you into this
So
world?
that's a great question. When I was younger, I was always a Pokemon kid. I have a bunch of Pokemon plushies. I loved all I've played every single game since like Emerald. That was kind of like my gateway into gaming. And then like in like middle school, one of my friends was like, "Hey, I found this really cool game. It's called League of Legends." Little did I know that it wasn't a cool game. It was gonna be my life sink for the next 8 years of my life. And that's how I ended up here, just through
Oh, that's
Pokemon and
awesome.
League of Legends.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific Pokemon you like?
Yeah, so my favorite Pokemon is Oshawott, actually. I have
Oh, that's
have him right
awesome.
here, my little Oshawott plush.
Nice. I I think that's a lot of people's like intro is Pokemon, and that's awesome that you really kind of expanded upon and got into League of Legends.
Yeah.
So for me, I I kind of don't. I haven't had a huge background in collegiate esports. I actually just started this year. But for NJIT esports, can you tell us like where the structure is, how the team is? Are you like you as the president and co-founder? You really built the core of this, right?
It wasn't just me. I had a really great team of people that helped bring it up with me. So when I say I co-founded esports, at first we weren't esports, we were the gaming club, and I was really a part of the group of people that helped bring it to become esports from the gaming club. Right? So we helped like create the brand of NGIT Esports, and we really helped expand it. So currently, right now, the way like our organization is structured, we have a lot of games, and we have game managers for each game. So like Valorant, League, Overwatch, Overwatch 2 just came out, it's pretty big. Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, and then these all operate under us. So like our game managers will oversee the Valorant. He does tryouts every year. He sets up scrims and tournaments, gets us involved into the collegiate scene. And it's just basically the same thing like that for all of our games.
That's awesome,
Mhm.
and it's amazing that you have such a diverse core of games and people.
Yeah,
So
no,
for
that's one of the
you,
things I'm actually like really proud of with NJT Esports. It's just like how inclusive we are as an org. Most of our group club members are involved in like every other organization on campus. Like our personal relations girl, her name is Jira. She's the president of Spectrum, which is the LGBTQ club. We have another student has involved in the Muslim Student Association. So we really try to like expand and like bring a lot to the school. Like have a lot of people under our umbrella.
that's awesome. Like for you, then like the daily activities must look a lot more different and diverse than a lot of other clubs in particular, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
for a player in your club, what does that look like? Even as like a on the competitive side, what would that look like?
So our players right now we're not under any like the school is not giving us scholarships for our esports players. That's something I am working towards. It's a bit of a work in progress at the moment. But one of our players, what they're looking at is just they're looking to compete. They're looking to get their name. They're looking to represent their school, and that's basically what we provide for our players. We give them like, hey, here are the resources. We do have a gaming lab. It's a work in progress gaming lab. We're trying to pour more resources into it, but we're like, hey, you have these resources. You have our GM, and then we just allow them to compete at like the highest level that we can provide for them. It is stressful being a player and providing and doing school and work and what other responsibilities they have outside of esports. But their passion is there. They do it. They love it. So this
That's
never
aw-
really comes up to where it's like, hey, like I we have a scrim, I have an exam. School's always first.
that's a really good position to know that as a former semi-pro pro coach, the balance between collegiate players who were on just a team, not necessarily connected to a collegiate team, that is such a hard thing for them to understand. And I'm glad that you as a club have really, as a leader in the club, have done that and put that like that
Hmm.
foot down and said you have to do this before you
Yeah.
get to play.
If you don't mind me asking, what games did you coach for?
I started off as a semi-pro player doing Dirty Bomb. It's an old game. That got scrapped real quick within 3 months, and then I went for Overwatch. I actually got to watch your guys' scrim, I believe,
Hmm.
commentated.
Uh, I didn't even see the results of the scrims, to be honest with you.
It's okay. The VOD is there. I would not go back to it. Although for all the people watching, go ahead and watch it. We need the views, please. Go ahead and do that. It was actually an awesome scrim to watch. Your whole team did a really awesome job. I think it was like I've really been interested in working with collegiate players and reaching out and helping build this out so it's more inclusive, so people know like how to
Yeah.
get a coach, how to talk to a coach, how to receive
Yeah, no,
feedback.
it is a barrier for entry, knowing the correct people to get in touch with. So I'm glad that you're like working on that.
Well,
When
I
I was
mean, the
first starting
important
off
thing
as
is you guys.
president.
Well, the important thing is you guys. You're the players. Without the players, there isn't any coaching like that's ever going to
Yeah,
happen.
that's a
So,
great
like,
point.
I guess that kind of goes to where I'm thinking. Um, when you know, what is it like to like start the club? Is the administration kind of with you? And I know we have another question. Like, I'm kind of combining the two. Um, was there like like where was the inspiration? Like, is it really just like hardcore, just wanting to become a gamer? Did you get flack from admins for that?
The way you're phrasing this question, I already know it. I think you already know what the answer is gonna be. So starting up the club from like to what it is now, admin's not always on our side. Recently though, they have like come because we have been they sent out me and esports to this innovation fair in Hoboken. Propelify was really cool, and we're starting to get a lot more involved on campus and the scene and just like Newark, New Jersey in general. So as of recent, they're starting to like warm up to us a little, like just from my conversations with like the dean and anyone else in admin, but they're not always like so willing to like toss us like money like as we need it. You know what I mean? Which to be honest, I do understand in their eyes. Like we are like a gaming club. It's not really accurate. If that's how they see it, I can't stop them from like having that. I'm not gonna like sit here and be all grumpy about it. You know what I mean? But besides that, we're under like student life. Student life's been great. But we have had our back and forths with them every once in a while. It hasn't been all smooth sailing, but I think we're at a point to where it's like we're starting to get the recognition we deserve as an org, and that really makes me happy.
And what I was going to say is I wouldn't worry about that. We're at such a fledgling pace right now. Esports as a whole is such a unique thing that's changing every single week. That collegiate esports really will like create the flagship for what will be set. Like your collegiate groups will be setting the
Hmm.
flagship for what will happen next. And I think it's important to note that you guys are really setting the pace for the rest of the schools to look to, and being an asset to other schools would be a put your flag down on saying like we're willing to help and grow. And I think you've already done that. I mean, you've already gotten those. It was cool to watch the scrims. Um, that's really interesting to me to see how well you guys have been working between sort of the internal politics.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it is. Colleges are big. They have a lot going on. I understand that we're not always going to be the priority in terms of the student, but as long as I'm here, I'm always going to be pushing. I'm always going to be sending emails, getting in contact, always trying to get more stuff for the club. You know, I'm always working with other colleges, trying to get set up scrims or trying to set up events, trying to see like, hey, what's the situation at your school? Try to get it, because it is. We're all at the same time. We're all students. We all go to colleges, so we all have a common
Yeah,
goal.
that's awesome. So I guess my question is, if I want to go to your college, what like NJIT, what is your recruitment process like? What is your what are the requirements? Are there anything specific, or is it more of like just joining the college and then joining the club?
Yeah, so we don't really recruit for esports as of yet. That's further down the line right now since we don't really have the ability to offer scholarships. We're not really gonna go and be like, "Hey, do you want to come to NJIT to play Valorant? By the way, we can't give you anything. Just please do it." It's more so of like, "Hey, if you're at NJIT, you do play this game. Like, we're here. You can come compete with us." And the thing about it is, so that I'll tell you, is we are a tech school. Our gamer population is exactly where you expect it to be in a tech school. A lot of our people are gamers and we're very involved. And then these people tend to be like all of our players, like on our Valorant team are immortal. Our Diamond team averages around like D4, D3. So we are competitive enough to where we won't have to recruit as of now. So I'm very happy with how it is, but we don't actively go and get like people. I mean, I'll toss like if I know like an incoming freshman that's like from my high school, I'll be like, "Hey, come to NJIT." But besides that, like we don't go out and like actively offer people things to come to our school.
Well, I guess the other part that I've experienced a little bit with Westcliff is there a base requirement to stay on the team, or have you kind of said in specifically you got to be on top of your homework, you have to have a certain grade point average? There's something that you've set down in the rules.
So like under NJIT rules, the you have to have a minimum of 2.5 GPA to be a part of a club, I'm pretty sure. But as far as like me, we don't really have a set standard. Like you can still compete with us, but like if like one of the game managers sees that you're struggling like on your classes, like you're bombing exam after exam, they're probably gonna say something, right? They're not just gonna let you sit here and struggle with school all the time and like see that you're obviously struggling. Also, a lot of our students like to help each other on homework. Every once in a while in our Discord, I'll be like, "Hey, is anyone taking said class with said professor?" I myself have gotten a lot of help in my classes from people I've met through esports, and we are a very like education first kind of like thing. Like I'm never like no one's ever gonna tell you like, hey, skip class for esports. You know what I mean?
That's really
So
good to hear.
yeah, we always try to push that like, hey, you're here for school, esports second.
That's awesome, and I really appreciate that. I mean, that's as someone that's brought in players from outside, and we had like independent teams away from collegiate. That is such a difficult thing to set down, to get them to do their homework, to get them to do other stuff, get them resources, and them to accept it. I really commend you on that. Um, and I guess my question then to lead back through that is, what are some things you wish you knew before starting the club and starting the esports side of the club,
I'm sorry, I
and
didn't
would
quite
you
hear that.
change anything? Oh, so before starting the club, is there anything you would have liked to have known, and or
Yeah, I
changed?
mean, before starting the club when I was like a wee little freshman, I would have liked to know like the proper channels in school. Like cause like there's like the channels that like they tell you to email, and then there's the people that you really should be emailing, the people you should be really reaching out to. Because what I've noticed, and this isn't just like a college thing, I feel like this is a thing in life that like is a lesson I've learned, I guess you could say, from esports. It's like the outlets people tell you to reach out to aren't usually all they're usually like filter outlets. So like for example, you'll be at like I don't know, like you're just emailing like admin. They'll tell you to email like this email, and that won't really be who you want to talk to. So I wish I knew like the correct process and like who to actually talk to get changes. That's probably the biggest thing. Besides that, there hasn't really been like too many like aha light bulb moments for me that when I was like, damn, I wish I knew that before. But there's like a few little like tricks and nuances that would have been nice to have in the back of my head when I was starting it up and trying to get everything settled.
Okay, yeah, I completely can understand where that like your position is with that. That's definitely difficult to deal with, but I think you're doing a really good job overall. Um, so, what advice would you give for students wanting to join the club or the team?
Honestly, my the best advice I could give you is just don't be shy. Go into Discord, go into general chat, ping anybody, ping everybody. Well, not ping everybody, but like ping upper e-board, ping like anybody who you think is gonna help you. There's no need to be afraid of like reaching out to anybody. You know, if you see like we have a little office on campus that's usually open most of the day, you know, come in and say hello. A lot of people like to peek their head in the office and then just like walk away. Like at the end of the day, I'm not gonna. If you want to join the club, I can't go and approach every single student I see on campus, right? So just don't be afraid. Say hello. I'm always around. I'm always willing to help.
That's really awesome.
And that is how most of our game managers actually do have their positions. A lot of them just like went in to like a random channel in the Discord and was like, "Hey, I play." Literally, this happened last week. The friend Mason was like, "Hey, I play TF2. Can I be the Team Fortress 2 GM?" I was like, "Perfect, go. It's yours."
That's awesome. So I kind of want to just ask for purposes when it comes to like new games. Does NJIT really want to expand on new games, or is that something that is more or less like, hey, I'm just interested, and you just kind of open it up, or is it like there's like a vested interest? People are going, yes, I want this.
Yeah, so the way that works is when a new game drops, for example, I guess the most recent case of this would be Overwatch 2, right? When a new game drops, people are and like I see a lot of people like just here talking about it, like we're on the street or in the Discord. Then we'll open it up, but like we're not gonna like openly advertise a new game because at the end of the day, running a game and getting like conferences set up for a certain game, it is very like time. You do need to put a lot of time into it. So if it's just like a game that nobody's gonna play, we're gonna be like, okay, if no one says anything, we're just gonna leave it. But if it is a game that like we know is gonna be popular, like Overwatch 2, we'll be like, hey, Overwatch 2 is coming out, get involved. You know what I mean? So it is like kind of like a case by case. We don't always give every game equal treatment as much as I would love to. Obviously, Valorant isn't gonna get the same amount of treatment as the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon speedrunning team. You know what I mean?
But that's understandable though,
Yeah.
and being able to allocate assets, especially when you're growing, it's definitely difficult. So again, I keep on saying I commend you because I don't think there's enough credit given to college students because for reference to any parents or students that don't understand how the system works, a lot of times the scholastic program and the athletics program are two different things, and
Yeah.
scholastics usually
Mhm.
falls underneath what we're dealing with on this side, and athletics is something where you think of the traditional football team or the basketball team. So it sounds like you definitely fall underneath the regular scholastic, correct?
Yeah, we're not under athletics yet, and I don't think we have a plan to go under athletics. I know other colleges have been integrating their esports under their athletics. If I were to name drop, I think Kane did that. NJCU might have done that, but we don't have any plans for that as of now. We
I
like
think
to
that's
keep
okay.
our yeah. I'm perfectly
People
happy
do it
as it
balance.
is. I think I like our club student ran. I like to have my voice.
That's cool though. I think that's a really important step to know where you want to be and how you want to run the club because it definitely changes it when you put it underneath a different banner. So for you, in particular, I noticed that we talked about before you play some games like League of Legends, but outside of that, because you're a manager and like leader, are there other positions within the organization like coaches, managers, um, recruiters? Trying to think of um, observers. Do you have any like buildup of roles that are not traditionally like the esports or gamer roles?
Yeah, no, a ton. So, this is a great question actually because this is basically like how like all of our e-board is ran. So our e-board basically boils down into like every position that's not like a player, I guess you could say, right? Falls into under our e-board. So for example, there's me, I'm the president. I'm like upper e-board. Our game managers, they fall into like the regular e-board, like lower e-board, whatever you want to call it, interchangeable. And then we have like PR, we have our secretary John, we have our treasurer Ethan, our vice president Connor been a huge help. So all of these people, and then besides like the people who like help run the club, we have Will. He's our stream manager. He helps us set up our Smash Bros stream usually. So he runs stream for us. We do have commentators that usually commentate the Smash stream. We have Ahmed. He's our competitive director. So he's basically in contact with all the GMs, making sure that like, hey, like you guys are good. You guys know what collegiate events you like want to sign up for, all of that. So we do have a lot of outlets. Like if you just like don't want to play a game or just want to get involved into like the esports scene, like otherwise, we do provide a lot of things for that. Like a lot of positions, a lot of ways to help out. Because I know like not everyone has like is interested in becoming a player, or some people just like aren't competitive enough to be able to play at the collegiate level. So we do try to offer like the gateway into like the other esports.
That's really cool. Um, and I guess that kind of like that is something that's interesting to me particularly because when it comes to coaching and managing in my life, the way I've gone down to it, there wasn't really any really support systems for that at the time. And it's awesome that you guys are setting up those standards at a college level that it can then be moved over career wise because it's not just you're not just preparing your own skills in esports,
No,
it's
no, no.
transferable. It's
Yeah, so
amazing how
like
transferable these are.
and we do talk to a lot of external companies. So like there probably is going to be a situation coming up in the future where like one of us gets into contact with like Razer or like another gaming company and maybe they could get a job going on from there. You know what I mean? It's always open. And that's what I really like about it. There's a lot of opportunities besides just like running the club. You get to meet a lot of cool people. You get to meet a lot of people that have like a position in these companies and you just go from there.
That's really cool. So the next question I have for you, and we talked about this before, you really are interested in bringing high school students to the college. How do you think you prepare or could prepare these students for college, or have you done it already?
Yeah, so I remember we haven't really like worked with any sorry, not colleges, high schools. We haven't really worked with any high schools at all. But I remember last semester, or was it the semester before that? Last year. We did have this high schooler that was interested in coming out to our Smash locals, and then his dad actually reached out to us on Instagram, and they were like, "Hey, my son's really interested in playing Smash. Can we get him out to your tournaments?" And then we did go through all the proper channels. He was, of course, a minor, so his dad did have to come. We got approval from the school. So there definitely is an avenue for us to collaborate with high schools. I remember I sent like an email to my alma mater, Carter High School, a while ago. I never really got a response. I never really pushed it forward. But I do want us to get more involved with high schools in the future. It would be really cool for us to get our hands on like these incoming freshmen, get them to come to our school, especially the talented ones. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Mm, but besides that, like, how is it like you? Like, do you try to like recruit like these high schoolers or?
I think the process right now for me, this is new. My position's very new, so I'm kind of looking to you as an example right now. The way I recruited was off of forums, off of discords. We had a couple of private professional discords for Overwatch that eventually expanded out to be public. But we really did focus in on like young talent. I had students as young as 13 and as old as 27. I actually had a 29-year-old, but he was more of my mentor at that time. So
That's
yeah,
sick.
it kind of switched real quick. But I really respect him in particular. But it definitely was difficult to find students to be able to do that because get any younger, it's beyond high school or below high school, it is crazy.
Yeah, no,
Um,
high school's usually where you get everyone that's interested.
yeah, it's definitely a different world. I've not been in it for 10 plus years, so can't imagine what it's like now.
Yeah, no.
So I, I guess for you, how do you think your teams and clubs, how do they get applicants? How do you make sure they're getting applicants? Like, what are your processes to do so?
So usually we don't really like there isn't like a set process to get applicants and new members for our club or team. Like we never had to really like worry about it to the point where like, oh man, we don't have people. There's always been like people around, which I'm extremely grateful for. We've always had people coming in and ready to help out. But what we usually do is we have most of our activity, most of our foot traffic comes from our Discord, discord.gg/NJIT. Yes, we do have the NJIT tag. We've had it for forever. I'm so proud of it. I'm never letting go of it. It doesn't matter how much the school's gonna bother me. I'm never letting go of that slash NJIT. But most of our traffic goes through there. So what we'll do is be like everyone that will ping a lot of people. We just be like, hey, at everyone, Valorant tryouts are coming up, or we'll put flyers up around school, stuff like that.
That's cool. That's a really innovative thing. Is there
Yeah.
anything in particular that you could, let's say you had unlimited budget, what would you want to do to bring applicants in?
If I had a limited budget, first and foremost, scholarships. 100%. I would really buckle down on the competitiveness of our team. I would get us a space, offer scholarships to the better players that are coming in. I'd be like, yup, hey, if you're really good, you can have this amount of money to come play for our school. That's probably the first thing I do. Besides that, I'd probably put up like higher quality flyers around campus, I guess. Maybe like reach out to like some collegiate organizations, try to get our info on there.
I
That's
think those are all really
probably
good steps.
Yeah, that's probably what I would do if I had a limited budget. I think scholarship's probably the most important thing on my radar though to get new applicants because everyone's gonna jump at the opportunity for a scholarship. You know how that goes.
Yeah, and I think you're in a unique opportunity being at Institute of Technology that
Hmm.
eventually you think that administration, maybe not for your generation, the idea of like then you're preparing for the next 8 generations. You're laying out the seeds and the foundation for them.
Yep.
Um, Definitely throwing it down hard with administration there. I know I'm a little bit of a I go with my name bitten buffalo. Like I can definitely get a little bit more aggressive when it comes to making sure those students get things, and I think that's what I'm hearing from you. So
Yeah, it isn't. They're not always like it's not. Admit. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering here. Admin's not always gonna be willing to throw money our way. We do usually have to do like a lot of things for them to give us money, but when they do, it's always nice. Because think about it, admins usually like they're not older, they're not always in the loop, they don't know what's going on with esports. So like I can definitely understand like their point of view at the end of the day.
for sure, it's definitely difficult. Um, so I had mentioned at the beginning with your little bio that we went through. You were looking after graduating to get a job as a design engineer. What exactly does that all involve?
Um, I'm not sure exactly like I mean hopefully my dream as a design engineer, I want to like design hardware. So like hopefully like maybe like design a new computer case or like a new like casing for a GPU. That's what I want to go into. I just really want to help design like maybe arcade cabinets, something like that. I think that'd be really sick. Like I'm not gonna be opposed. I'm probably just gonna take like wherever I can get when I graduate. I'm looking for a job for like probably hop around the first few years. That's my plan. But so like I'm a mechanical engineer, so that's like not industrial. So I'm kind of getting the mechie degree, and like design isn't really a part of that. So I probably have to start building a portfolio and stuff, do all of that. But besides that, like that's what my dream is.
That's really cool, and that's something I didn't even really think about as a career outside of like a design engineer. I didn't even really know what they specifically did. So I really appreciate you cueing me into that. Um, wow, this question, we already kind of answered it, but I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to it in particular for like the future that you want to achieve for NJIT.
Yeah. So I mean, my personal dream would be to win like a major tournament and get our players to like win any major collegiate tournament, send them out to like a grands or something. I know me personally, I'm biased. I think we have the talent, we have the players. We just really need to get like hit the ball going and just like get our players out to different situations. Because I would love to bring home another trophy. We had one of our grad students actually win us. He won a huge Street Fighter tournament back in the day. Street Fighter 5 was so crazy, and I just want to like relive that again. I want more accolades for our club. I want to put NJIT on the map.
That's really cool. So is there any like future tournaments? I don't know exactly what group you're a part of at this point. Are there any sort of tournaments or teams that are participating right now that you're kind of like that we can root for and watch?
Yeah, so our Valorant team just got done with like a LAN in New York. Unfortunately, they didn't qualify. If they qualified, they would have went on to fly out to Houston. Completely paid for a trip. Would have been so amazing. Unfortunately, they didn't. They still have their shot at the wild card for the Red Bull Campus Clutch. So if they can succeed in the wild card, they'll still be able to fly out to Houston. Then I think if they do well in Houston, they go on to Brazil, which would be so nice to have these people go out for. Besides that, oh my audio. Whoops, better. So besides that, besides that, there are like Smash collegiate tournaments like once a month, and Smash, and it is a running joke in our community, but Smash is it is our flagship. We are very known for our Smash. We do run like one of the best Smash New Jersey locals in tri-state area. So I really hope like our Smash team would like does very well at like the next major coming up is in like Connecticut, Frosty something. I'm not really a Smasher, I don't really know. But if they can do well at there, I mean, hey, let them do well, you know what I mean? But like I
That's
really just
awesome.
want to see our team succeed. I want to see these students like have something that they can like look back on and be like, "Hey, we won that." You know what I mean?
100%. So we're watching for Valorant and we're watching for Smash for sure.
Yup.
That's awesome. So I think we have a little bit of time. Let me ask Nick real quick. Nick, do we have enough time? Okay. Do we have any like? I just kind of want to do like a free fire questions.
Sure.
Um, so when it comes to League of Legends, is there a League of Legends team right now for you guys?
Yeah, there is a league team. I was on the league team before. I'm okay at league. I was never really like the carry. Like I never really did too much. I played last year, last semester. Right now our league team, they're around like I think they are like all super talented. Brian, Tyler, John, the new I don't know the new jungler's name. I know his Discord is Chow. Extremely talented group of people. They're really good. That they're really good at the game. They can go really far. I like the league team right now. I think they're all really cool. Besides that, the league usually they play for the Riot tournament. It's called Collegiate League of Legends. It happens in the spring. So right now they're like practicing scrimming, getting ready for that.
Nice.
Besides that, our leagues they're kind of big. They're not really active on person as much as they are on like online. But there isn't really like nothing I could do about that besides like have like a practice space available for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's understandable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, I'm trying to think of all the big games rapid fire.
Just shoot it.
Um, Overwatch. You guys doing Overwatch?
Oh yeah, we're doing Overwatch. I think Overwatch falls under what are they falling under now? I completely forget. But Overwatch 2 just dropped. You know, it's huge. Overwatch is actually so big in our NJIT circle that they have their own Discord. They don't fall under NJIT Esports, just too much to contain. So that's actually really cool because it's like if everything like hopefully gets that big, we can have like a whole network of Discord servers, sort of like a little like army, I guess.
That's awesome.
I know the Junkenstein PvE just came out. I'm not very good at Overwatch. I like playing the PvE, so I want them to start an event on campus about like a PvE tournament. I don't know. I'm kind of sick at Overwatch sometimes. Hopefully, I do well in the PvE thing.
It's okay. We'll get around it together. We'll do that. So what about
Hopefully.
Counter Strike for you guys?
CS:GO. CS:GO doesn't really have like a casual scene as much. They have the 5 or 6 players. They like practice a lot. Every time I hop in like their area of the Discord, I see them practicing a lot. I know Ecotech, our CS:GO GM, also does sim racing. Like that's really cool. He sim races a lot. He tells me how he's doing. I like to hear from him. Besides that, I don't think there's any that big of a collegiate scene. But however, I would like to pay attention to is that we do have, and this you're allowed to laugh. We have a Roblox team now. I
Oh, let's
freshly
go. Okay, I like it. Let's go.
we do unironically have a Roblox team. I approved that in September. So they play Arsenal. I'm trying to get a deep woke guild going on, but you know my Roblox GMs, it takes I gotta kick them a little for them to get going, but they're there. Besides
What about
that, what
Call of Duty?
else?
Call of Duty?
Oh no, Call of Duty. I'm glad you said Call of Duty. Um, our Call of Duty GM, he's a personal coworker of mine, Jason. I love him to death. They got actually invited to this invite-only tournament coming up in North Carolina around like January, February-ish time. So we're gonna send them out to there. We're gonna go through the school. We're gonna go through the Senate. You know, the Senate doesn't really always like to help us out because they do pull a lot of shady things, and I do call them out on it. So they're not like they don't like me a lot, but we do have to go through them unfortunately. So the NJIT Student Senate, we are going to go to them, hopefully get money to them out to North Carolina. Hopefully do very well. In the past, our COD team they've been very good. So hopefully we can get them out to this tournament. Hopefully they can do well, you know.
Oh, that's
Modern
awesome.
Warfare 2 just dropped as well. So hopefully we can get the hype, get some good players, and just go.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was trying to leave that because that's the last one because that's what just came out. Are you going to be playing it?
Yeah. Nah, I don't play shooters, man.
Oh, okay.
I
I,
don't play any FPS games, unfortunately.
but you'll do
Uh,
Junkenstein Revenge with me. Come on,
I
it's
don't
fun.
know. When I play Overwatch, my Kariko goes kind of nutty. I just start dinking heads for 150. It's crazy. But
That's what I
besides
like
that,
to hear.
I play. Oh my god, bro! Me playing Overwatch is so funny. I play Moira and Mercy because I cannot aim.
So we actually have a question from Twitch. Who or what was your inspiration?
Whoa, we have a question from Twitch. Honestly, my inspiration growing up, I don't know. I spent let me collect my thoughts here. Growing up, one of my biggest inspirations is probably my father. He's always worked breaking his back for me and my family. We do butt heads, you know. I am growing up. I am a teenager, well, adult now, I guess, right? So we do argue back and forth, but I do really love him to death. He's always taught me that like you don't get anywhere in life without working for it. That's the main thing I've learned from him. Is like you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't work. Work makes like it builds the person. Besides that, another person that's been like super influential in my life, probably one of my cousins, my cousin Michael. And like obviously you're gonna learn things from your cousin that you're not gonna learn from your father, right? Your father's not gonna tell you like every single thing. But my cousin Michael, he's really there. He helped me break me out of my shell, I think. Because I remember I'd sleep over his house on the weekends, and then like, he'd make me like actually go and do stuff besides just like sit in my room and play Pokemon all day. So I'm extremely grateful for that. Like I'm extremely grateful for him like helping me like, hey, like there's more to life than just sitting here on Discord all day. And like it helped me become like the extroverted person I am. I wasn't always like this talkative. I was like a shut in. I was very shy in like middle school, elementary school. So I'm super happy that he was like able to come there and help me out and like just make me the person I am. So probably those two are my biggest inspirations in my life right now. Obviously, everyone's helped shape me into the person I've become. And not saying I'm perfect. Obviously, I do have my flaws. But besides those two, probably those are my two biggest inspirations right now.
That's really cool. I think it's so important that you have that family contact and that family support system, and that no matter what you do, you're gonna butt heads with your parents all the time.
Yeah, no.
That you always come back to that center place.
Yeah, no, my parents are great, man. We don't always it's not always smooth sailing, obviously with every family, but like I really do love them to death. I cannot appreciate them enough. And I'll never say this to their faces, but like mom and dad, if you're watching this, I really do love you guys. Thank you for everything you've done for me. I know I'm not always like the best, but you guys are always there for me.
Oh, all right. So Serene, who's the moderator in chat, I'm gonna need you to clip and ship that to the email and make sure that gets posted to NJIT's Twitter so they can
Oh
see it.
no.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, so I guess like I think we have to wrap it up here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But do you have any questions for me? Because I've got a couple just left.
Yeah, so what do you play in Overwatch? What'd you play? I'm curious. I like
Oh God,
hearing
I
about
never
like
played.
you never played? I thought you
I
saw. Oh no, you
I
played. It was
oh
a
I do
different game, right?
play. I do play, but it's not at a competitive level. I was told
Mhm.
when I quit officially on my first esport. My coach said you're never going to be able to be a pro, so just coach. Because I was an IGL for my team.
Mhm.
And for people who don't know what that is, that's the in-game leader, that's the captain. And typically the captains are the strongest, at least leader-wise and
Mhm.
mechanically, but I was not the mechanics. So I play Ana, I play a little bit of Bastion. He's my boy. Um, but
Bastion. Who's
yeah.
Bastion? That's the new guy that just came out, right?
No,
He's got
Bastion, well, they reworked him. They completely reworked Bastion. So he's kind of new. I'll say he's kind of new. He got a facelift.
oh, I was like, you haven't seen the whole like Twitter trend right now? People are pretending because they got deleted from the game, they put him back. People are pretending that
Oh
he's
my
like brand
god,
new.
you're right. Oh my poor Bash. They did my boy wrong. It's so
It
bad.
really
The new
did.
character.
Besides that, like, what's your experience as a coach? You ever had like, tell me like the fun experiences though, like any unruly players or like something like that. I don't want to hear about like the smooth sailing part. I want to hear the interesting stories.
Uh, some of the. I mean, I'll say an unnamed player. I was a analyst. This is my first time. I left a team under not the best circumstances, so I joined an analytics for my mentor,
Mhm.
who was coaching me between that time, between getting my new team and then losing them and then bringing me on. I was working with Selfless, and we were bringing in an unnamed player who was probably the best mechanical player in Overwatch, and people can decipher it from there. Um, he was a complete, just terrible human being at that time. And yes, I will say that that's a statement. He was not being nice. All the players were like, he's terrible as a human being, but his mechanics are great.
So, like, as
And
a coach, right? Because I know
yeah,
obviously these players you can't have them on a team. Does it really? It really like does break your heart when you have like players with insane amounts of talent, just like not like
oh
they're
yeah,
just not able to play on your team, right?
Yeah, and he didn't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he got through. My analytical paper that I sent in, it was like a 1.5 page piece that I sent to the GM at the time.
Mhm.
I just said, if you can coach him, he'll be the best player you've ever seen, and probably will reach Owl, which he did, and he was
Yeah.
one of the best mechanical players in Owl. But it was just a rough go. So I mean, you get those cool times where it's like, oh man, I got to scout that player, or I got to see that
Yeah.
player before. But then you get the low points of like end of open division where your players go, "Oh my god, where are we going next?" When
That's
you don't reach it.
hey, good for him though. He made it to OWL.
Yeah, he did, and regardless of whatever happened with him, he is a excellent player. He'll probably be coming back to Overwatch, so
Yeah.
I respect that.
Overwatch 2 is big. It's hype. I'm hyped as heck for Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Besides that, how did you get into video games? What was your first games growing up and stuff?
My first game was Team Fortress 2.
Oh,
Um,
TF2.
yeah, I was
It's
a
funny.
pyro main. I ran around with the little flamethrower. Everyone hated me, and I loved it. And I was a little. I luckily I had a deeper voice, so everyone thought I had a that I was an adult. So they kept on like trolling me because I didn't understand. 13, 14. You don't know
Yeah,
anything. Sorry, 13, 14-year-olds, you don't know anything. Um,
yeah.
so I took things way
TF2
too
is
serious.
that Overwatch ripoff, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. You got it. Thank you. Even though you're a little bit younger, you got it, young stuff. Let's go. Let's go. I appreciate that.
Before we do wrap up and everything though,
Yeah.
I would like to shout out the person who moderates the Discord. Everything goes on. I just would like to shout out Adnan. He does a lot, and I know he's bothering me right now about the shout out, so I guess I have to.
Well, no, I wanted to ask you who you wanted to shout out. I mean, we got your parents, we got the moderator. There's got to be more. We got time.
More shout out. I don't know his actual name, but I'll just say like the first part of it because I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on stream. Shout out Naeem, Momala Harris on Discord. Makes me laugh every single day. The funniest guy I know. Shout out to my squad of like higher e-board, Connor, Ethan, John. I wouldn't be able to do anything for this club without them. They're always there. We get a lot done. Shout out Fortes. It's the pizza spot on campus. I have their pizza every single day. I love it. The guy is super nice to me. Get my 2 slices of pepperoni. What else do I want to shout out? Yeah, I don't really have that much else to shout out, to be honest, off the top of my head.
Well, I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot, and it was a
I
fun
appreciate you guys
conversation.
having me.
Well, no last words.
NJIT Esports, we play games. I don't know.
Guys, please watch them. Please follow them. I got to see their
Yeah,
Overwatch team. They were amazing.
discord.gg/NJIT, NJIT Esports on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, just keep an eye on them. Go to their Instagram, follow it. Go to their Twitter, follow it. I know that's a boomer one. Do it anyway. I don't care. Go follow their Twitch, wherever it is.
Shout
Thank
out
you
to
so much.
Mike. Helps me out with my mechanical work all the time. I love him.
Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, Bruno.
Yeah, all
So
good.
I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this week, and especially you, Bruno. Thank you for joining us today.
No, I
We've
can't
had
express enough how much it means for me for you guys to have me here. Thank you so much again.
we had an amazing broadcast tonight, and thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. And I want to thank all of our partners, ESTV, NFL alumni, and Gamehers. Without their support, we would not be able to bring our weekly show to you like we do tonight. We'd also like to thank our producer, Nick, our moderators, Catherine and Bayou. Next week, we will be having another exciting program. Stay up to date on upcoming topics and what we are working on next. Follow our social media. You can find us everywhere at Esports CCP. And happy Halloween, everyone, and especially to you, Bruno. Happy
Yeah,
Halloween.
man. Yo, what's your Halloween costume before we get out of here?
Oh God, an angsty young adult.
Uh, That's okay. I'm gonna be a depressed college student.
All
Alright. Thank
right,
you guys for having me again.
thank you.
Yep.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye bye.